Hello and welcome to the G3 Plus podcast. My guest today is Simon Dorsen, Chief Commercial Officer at OKTO. Simon, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Lewis. Thanks for having me.
Very welcome. You're very welcome. OKTO's been really cranking out the news recently. We've got some major announcements ahead of the Iceland show. I'd like to run through some of those and ask if you could fill in a bit of extra details around them, if that's okay.
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
Can we start off with the integration with Betson Group in Greece? What details can you add to that announcement, starting with, it must have been in the works for a while. I'm presuming you were involved in it in a big way. And how big a deal is it?
Well, I think that, we're obviously really happy with Betson. They're a marquee name. But I think that Betson is part of a bigger story happening here at OKTO.
Okay.
You and I have spoken in the past about what we're doing in cashless and things like that. But I think now we've evolved, and of course cashless is still going on. But there's a big push with us, and of course we'll talk further about this as we go through. But there's a big push in online with our OKTO Cash products, our online wallet, and also what we're doing in LATAM with our gateway. So this is part of a bigger story, and we're getting, as well as Betson, many marquee names, seeing our products, liking what they see, and us also tailoring our products to them. So, this is, Betson is obviously, Greece is obviously our home market.
Yeah.
It's really important to have Betson here, and we've had other recent go lives in Greece as well as NetBet and others. So, and there'll be more to come. So, and also in other countries such as Germany, Spain, which we'll talk more about later. So, part of a bigger push in online.
Okay. Well, I wanted to ask you about the kind of the word online, because I've always thought about OKTO in that it's a slight hybridized word, I guess, but phygital space, that omni-channel link between retail and online. How would you describe OKTO's online offering? Because I know it's been expanding rapidly.
Yeah, it's a good question. So I think phygital is one of those things that can mean many different things in different contexts. So, phygital can mean what we do in our land-based, because there's a combination obviously between land-based and digital there with digital payments. But also, even though you think of online as being purely online, in a lot of countries, online is still, it has a connection to the real world or to points of sale. And so a lot of our, our OKTO Cash offering, and also what we do with our wallet in Germany, in Italy, which we'll talk about it in a bit. That's about, players wanting to go to points of sale and interact with those points of sale for their online services. And that includes, payments. There's still a lot of people who want to deposit cash for online, and that's all get deposits, withdrawals from their gaming account instantly, to get it in a point of sale. So I think in that context for online, that's where our phygital, the phygital offering comes through, about having online customers that still that still require interaction with a point of sale, to top up their online gaming account or withdraw from it in physical cash.
Okay.
But we're not all, but that's part of it. But of course, in other areas, in our gateway, in what we're doing in LATAM and other areas, those are purely online, fully digital payments and stuff like that. So we have a broad base of what we're doing, depending on the market, depending on the needs of the merchant and the customers in each market. Some markets, as fully digital, but in other markets, cash is still important, even in online.
Okay, and is that what the operators want? Is it what regulations doing and changing around? So you operate within a space that, as it allows, and as what is driven by the operator. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's a mix of the two, right?
Okay.
So operators respond to what their players want, and in a number of markets, their players are still wanting to deal, in the physical cash, either as a deposit or withdrawal. But of course, we're a regulated payment company. That's compliance is important to us. So I think the magic happens where we get a requirement from, or we come up with an idea internally, and we see how can we do that fully compliantly within the regulations, and I think that's where the magic happens, and that ultimately ends up, in the success of our products,
Okay.
such as Octo Cash.
Um, so back to the announcements for a second. You announced a deal again recently in Italy. You mentioned Italy before with Macau SRL,
Yeah.
and that highlighted OKTO PVR. I wanted to ask you again what was behind that deal, and if you'd explain a little bit more about OKTO PVR as well.
Yeah. So this kind of comes into what we were just talking about in Italy. There, the PVR, or is it Parleover Ricarica? I'll probably just hash that for our Italian listeners, but it's points of top up, for online. So online companies have affiliations with points of sale, and at
Okay.
those that who affiliate customers and also can offer top up, and currently that's been relatively unregulated, but we foresaw, or predicted that would become more regulated, and that has actually happened in the recent decree in August. I believe it's called Decree 111.
Okay.
And that is tightening the regulations around payments in the point of sale, and requiring now a payment institution or a licensed payment service be involved. So this Macau saw that, and agreed with our predictions of this coming, and saw the way that, the regulations were moving, and there are more PVR customers in Italy, who will announce soon, who we've signed or are about to sign. Because the PVR market is still sizable, and as we said before, though, that's addressing customers who still want to be able to load, cash online,
Okay.
or withdraw it. So that's taking one of our solutions, looking at the local regulations, and making it compliant on how that can be facilitated.
Okay. In terms of OKTO Cash, you recently received GGL, and I won't go through the German for what that stands for, approval in Germany, and you expanded in Spain, Greece, and Italy. So right now, Simon, what's the geographical footprint of OKTO Cash? Where's performance most notable, and where in 2024 will we see new markets added to that roster?
Yeah, so Romania is a massive success story for us. I think roughly we have 90%, if not more, of the market covered through our merchant agreements, and we're seeing great growth there. It's become a must-have.
Okay.
Also in Greece, we're seeing great traction there, as we talked about Bets and others. So taking that, we've seen, okay, it works in these markets. We believe it'll be successful in other markets, and our customers have been asking for this service in these other markets.
Okay.
For example, Germany, as you said, and I'm really excited about Germany. I think OKTO has a real unique position in that market, and we'll be announcing soon further signatures there. But all I can say is that we've signed more customers more quickly in Germany than we've done in any other market, that I've been involved in. So I'm really excited about Germany, and I think it's going to be a great market for us.
Is there
And
anything? Sorry, Simon. Is there anything specifically about Germany that perfectly fits what you're doing? What is it? What is it about the situation there?
yeah, I think first of all, Germany is a country that the consumer really likes cash. So there's a lot of consumers out there that want to put cash online, and
Okay.
the fact that and our user journey is unique in the market. A lot of the others are. Require you to have a wallet, and the customer has to do KYC on the wallet and stuff like that. And from our research, the German customer doesn't really want to do that. So through the way we structure OKTO Cash and our integration on the cashier with the operator, we do all the regulatory things behind the scene, and we enable a great user journey for the player. So I think that's really unique for us in the market. And as I mentioned, the operators have seen that instantly, so I'm really excited about that. But as I said, Spain, also we're expanding in other markets in Europe, which we'll be announcing soon. We're in Asia, in India, and in South America and stuff like that. So there's a lot of these things that are in development, so there's a lot to come. So that, for example, as we mentioned with Betson, they're obviously operating in many countries, and they want, to take advantage of our integration in not just in Greece, but in those other countries as well. And our other operators are asking for that. So that's what we're delivering on there.
Okay. You mentioned South America. You recently joined the Brazilian Institute of Responsible Gaming and Sports Betting. Obviously, that's in Brazil. How do you see that market expanding? What's your take on Brazil at the moment, and where does OKTO fit into that picture?
Well, I mean, I think it's no surprise. I think everybody knows about the new regulation that will be coming into force later this year. So, I think that our joining of this institute is it's a statement of intent for us in the market. We believe in the market. We're there to stay. We've been positioning ourselves and gearing up, being fully ready for this transition when it comes later in the year. The market will go through its machinations due to this regulation.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know a lot of the big international partners that we work with. They're there to stay. So that's great. Others might pull out or whatever. So there will be a process there. But we've got a great customer base there, both from users and also from merchants. So we're really focusing on our service and service uptime, which is market leading at 90. I got to get the number right. 99.8%. For deposits and withdrawals. So that's really our focus, and helping our customers, migrate through this period where maybe they've got offshore companies, now they have to onshore those companies. So we're really focused on the contract side, being ready for that and everything, like that. So that's really our focus. But we welcome the regulation, and we're ready to support there and be fully embedded in the market.
It's been a while coming, so yeah, good to get it off the ground. You provide correct me if I'm wrong here, you provide in Latin America an advanced payment aggregation service, and you've unified it across Latin America. You've got multiple local payment methods with a single integration. I just wondered what's the infrastructure needed to sustain that kind of service over such like a massive area. How do you keep the uptime at 99.8%?
Yeah, so our first foray into LATAM was Brazil. And we've really taken that model and that understanding and replicated it. So what we really need to focus on for our customers, they want that uptime. They want the high quality service, and so we're really geared up for that. And then our customers asked us, okay, well, if you're doing this for us in Brazil, can you do it for us in Chile, Peru, or wherever? So we're responding to our customers' needs, and they want, they've got the integration and they want to, use it in other areas. And then, we customize that. And because we worked in a very agile way on Brazil, I mean, we got that up and running in, a number of months. So we've built a methodology and a way of working where we can open new markets very fast but very efficiently. We can add new payment methods, local payment methods. We've got a model. It works. It's been battle tested in Brazil, and we're continuing to expand that to other markets where our customers want us to go.
Okay. Well, I always thought about are you companies entering foreign markets by saying, well, we're going to go into Germany or we're going to go into Chile or Brazil or wherever it is. And what you're saying is you actually work with a company in a marketplace and they work somewhere else, and then it's a logical conclusion to work with that customer in geographically to support them throughout their business.
Yeah, I would say that, what I've seen, being here, since inception, is that we have our own ideas about new markets that we think would be interesting. And then, our customers also, have their desires or ideas, so we kind of go in those markets where we think that we would be needed. And then there's other markets where, and that's an example of Brazil. One of our customers said, we want you to help us in Brazil, and we went and did it. So, having opened more than 10 markets in those 4 years, we've really developed a methodology and a process to be able to open new markets very, very fast and effectively and compliantly. And I think that 10 countries or more in 4 years, I think is a great achievement, and there's more to come. So that's a real it's a real competence of OKTO.
Yeah, no, it's it really is kind of rapid growth and expansion, but done so in a diligent way at the same time. Speaking of which, OKTO acquired the US-based company Flexia Payments.
That's right.
I think it was just after around G2E last year. What was that about? What was that? Was that about licenses in different states? Was it an integration into your existing systems? Does Flexia add new product technology to the OKTO portfolio? What was behind that, Simon?
Yeah, so we've been exploring the US for a couple of years now, and when the opportunity for Flexia came up, we saw the opportunity to kind of accelerate our abilities in the market. Flexia has a presence in the market. They're known. They have integrations already. So, and they have a solution which is homegrown, if you will, for the US market. I think that we've been talking about growing new markets and things like that, but payments by their nature and do not travel exactly well. So it's not always as easy as just taking a tech and dropping it into a new market. There are many nuances for those markets and stuff like that. And we saw that by acquiring Flexia, that gave us assets in the market that would accelerate our abilities to deliver in that market and have a solution that is tailored, to the US market and also to the Mexican market. That's also a very important focus for us as well.
Okay, and does that tie in? Yesterday, whenever the timestamp is on this podcast, but you just recently announced that you joined the American Gaming Association as well. Does that tie in with the Flexia announcement as well?
Yeah, I mean, as I said, we've been looking at the US market and working at it and doing biz dev, for the last couple of years. So I think that's a that's a visible sign of that business development, even though, we've been working kind of behind the scenes for a while. So I think that's just also, as well as Flexia, that's a statement of intent of our, desire to be, be positioned in the US market and be there to stay.
Okay. That's most of the announcements kind of covered. But just to summarize a little bit, how much do you feel that OKTO cashless, the solution itself, has evolved since OKTO was established? I mean, you've been around for since 2019. That solution itself seems to be more diversified than it was at launch, but really at any point on its journey as well. Where do you see that now?
I think that a lot, we've learned a lot over the last 4 years. And, we've seen what's been in the market. I think that there've been things that we got right with our product, and there've been other things which we didn't anticipate. So we've been, and that's normal, in this kind of process, but we've adapted to that. And I think one of the biggest things is that we've seen that the user, they want a frictionless solution. So, they want a solution where they don't have to download an app. They can make that deposit on a gaming machine or an SSBT as fast as possible, and then get their money back. That's what's important for the player. All the compliance stuff and everything, we need to manage that behind the scenes, but do it still compliantly. So OKTO Direct is the answer to that. Okay. And that's something we showed for the first time at ICE last year, but it's really evolved a lot since then, and it is now live in the market, and we'll be expanding to new markets as well. So even though it sounds like something pretty simple, it was quite complex to bring to market, as you can imagine, to facilitate all of those things I've said. But we've done it now, and so that's the evolution. And I think also to say that this story of cashless in retail, it's more complex than just kind of delivering one solution. I think there's many different customers out there, players out there at many different stages in their personal journey of cashless. And I think that we've had the wallet live, in the UK and Europe for a while. And, there's been an adoption for that, and there's a player for that. But there's other players who are not ready, to adopt the wallet yet. So, our thinking is that, okay, you start the user on that journey with OKTO Direct, which has less hurdles and is easier for the player. And of course, OKTO Direct has a limit, to its functionality and stuff like that. And then that player feels more willing, once they've been on that road for a while, to say, okay, the wallet can offer more features and functionality and limits. I'm happy to take that now because I'm comfortable. So I think that my biggest takeaway from that is that, okay, we have different products for different solutions, but they should be seen more in an evolution of an operation, and in a personal journey of a player, to kind of onboard a player in that cashless journey. And then there are different solutions for them as they migrate through that journey. So I think that, to your question, we have more solutions for the different stages or the different users out there, but also our understanding of how all of the users interact in an environment has also matured. As I said, to say it's not just one solution and that's it. There's an evolution, and you need solutions for different at different stages where players are in their journey. But we think that for many places they're early in that journey, and OKTO Direct is the perfect solution for those operators and for their players, most importantly.
Yeah, it always seems as though you started at the hard bit, as though it would have been easier to have launched an online thing and then moved on and added these harder parts once the business was more established. But you started at the hard bit and then added in all the other parts of it. Is that feels about kind of how I seen it from the outside? Do you feel that from the inside as well, Simon?
Yeah, I can see where how that looks, and looking back on it, maybe that was the way. But we still believe very much in the cashless business. We think there still remains a huge opportunity, around the world in cashless. Still, a large majority of gaming in retail is cash, and so there's a huge upside there moving to cashless, and we see that happening. I think it's taking a while, and I think that's why we've diversified our business to online as well. But I think there's a lot of things we learn in retail that are applicable online, so that because we come at things from a different perspective than maybe other payment companies. So, but I think cashless is ticking along, and and OKTO Direct is a key strategic pillar of our company, as well as OKTO Cash is, and as well as our gateway is, and also the wallet for online as well, because we see a lot of demand from online operators for instant withdrawals, and our same wallet that we use for retail can be omni-channel or even just for online, and can facilitate that. So that's the great thing about our tech. It can be applied in different contexts very easily.
Okay. Finally, and you mentioned it a little bit earlier, and it's dominating everything that we're doing. I'm sure it's taken up most of your time. We're days away from ICE. What are OKTO's plans for the show? What should visitors expect on the booth? And what do you think? What are your highlights are going to be for London?
Very focused on ICE. So we'll have a booth there. Just a little plug. S8210. That's our booth. So please stop by. We've got a large contingent of people there. I think it's over 30 people this year, to service all our markets and stuff like that. So, we've got already a very busy meeting book, which I'm sure will increase. So I think, if I can just talk about some highlights, I think, as I've talked about, the OKTO wallet for online, which will facilitate fast withdrawals, has an issued card. So there's something to look at there. I think the PVR, which I touched on earlier for our Italian listeners, we also have a similar solution in Germany. So for our German listeners out there, so that's a key element there. I didn't talk about it before, but with Brazil, even we're not stopping there. We have new solutions there. We have Pix Pay and Play, which enables KYC as well as the payment at the first deposit, so enabling fast sign up. So that's very exciting, and also Pix Direct, which is the fastest open banking solution in Brazil. So that's also something really exciting. And of course, OKTO Cash. I think it's been around for a while, but we're expanding into the new markets as we talked about. So I think there's still a lot of excitement around that. So I think and our gateway for our other LATAM countries we're going into. So there's many more things as well, but it's already an extensive list of highlights, and we're really excited to welcome all our friends and our hopefully new friends at ICE. So I saw someone online called it the last dance in London. So
final day, final day. Well, it's certainly freezing over here, so wrap up for the show when you come across. I don't know, it must be fairly balmy in Greece still. And I look forward to finding out more about the highlights that you mentioned, and again, meeting at the show again, Simon. So I look forward to that, and thank you again for taking the time on the podcast.
It's always a pleasure, Lewis, and I look forward to seeing you at ICE.
Same here. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Hope you enjoyed the podcast. If you want to watch more, why not subscribe to our channel? Just click here.